Hey, everybody. It's me. They kept saying over and over and over and over, I don't think there's any way there will be a Drake Toll show on Wednesday, February 4th, 2026. And they were wrong. They were incorrect again. We're live. Myself, Drake Toll, from Savannah, Georgia. Addie Bates, hanging out in Washington, D.C. Laura Jimenez runs the board. Culver City, California. And this is our opportunity to make magic. You know, The Godfather, good movie, right? It insists upon itself. It wants you to know it's a good movie. What is it, 3 hours long, 3 hours and 12 minutes? The Drake Toll show starts at 6 a.m. Eastern time, goes to 9 a.m. Eastern time. And in these 3 hours, it's like we're coming together every day to make a new Godfather. To do The Godfather over, you wonder, you poke a couple holes in it. Like, yeah, was Marlon Brando that good? Well, yeah. But what if we made it better every day, over and over? And then you got to be a part of The Godfather. Well, that's why I give you my personal cell phone number every day, 310-840-4910. 310-840-4910. Drake Toll with you on Westwood One Sports, the Westwood One Sports app. If I can crawl inside of your brain for a second, here's what I imagine you've done with your days, with your life. And if I'm off, that's fine. But Dan, good morning. It's good to see you. Good to hear from you. Dan comes to us from Hartford, Connecticut. And Dan listened on his way home from work yesterday from 5:15 to 6 o'clock. Long commute, traffic, Hartford, to the Jim Rome show. It's his favorite show. He's loved Jim Rome for decades. Got home, did the dishes. I don't know. I guess he would do dinner, then the dishes. And then put his cozy little self to bed. And now Dan's up again and goes from the Jim Rome show to the Drake Toll show. Surely he had the rest of our programming on all night on that little red radio he keeps next to his bed, or on Sirius XM 375, or on the Westwood One Sports app. And you're up again. You're going to the gym, going to work, leaving work, wherever you are, whatever you're doing. I need you to know something. I need you to take this and hold it close to your heart. That is that the Hall of Fame committee could not be worse. But you know what? As much as I want you to know that, I want you to know something even more. That I lied to you yesterday. That I was not truthful with you. I've been taught by my therapist that I should not lie and I should be honest. And I will be in this moment of apology. I am sorry for telling you that I would not watch the Pro Bowl games last night. I am sorry for telling you that I thought the Pro Bowl games were stupid and possibly swaying what you believed going into it. I'm not sorry for being right about that. I'm not sorry that they were stupid. But looking back, there are some of you who probably watched that and enjoyed it and thought they're all having fun and they're smiling. I, on the other hand, hated it. Top to bottom, hated it. They wheel the guys out there. Look at the Pro Bowl linebackers. Put them on a stage, lasers, flashing lights. No one's there. These guys are just flexing into the camera, and then off they go. The only saving grace of this, by the way, I was not going to watch it. It was against my will at a restaurant. I ate crab legs last night. Pro Bowl was on in the background. Gross. They wheel the guys out there. They take pictures of them at their podiums. Micah Parsons is there in a wheelchair with a camcorder, and he keeps wheeling himself onto the field. Weird. And then the final score is 66-52, the NFC over the AFC. And you know what? Jerry Rice versus Steve Young, or George Pickens, Antoine Winfield Jr. having good performances, none of those mattered to me. What did matter is at the very first possession of the game, clockwork, beautiful. Paintings draw themselves, paint themselves. Shedeur Sanders threw an interception. And he didn't just throw an interception in the Pro Bowl. He threw an interception off a receiver's hands, through a receiver's hands on a dying dart of a pass that bounced around and was picked off. I thought, yep, this is what we asked for, man. This is what we got. We said Shedeur Sanders, Pro Bowl, the fourth worst QBR in the modern era of football for a singular season. Let's send that guy to the Pro Bowl, who also himself said, I really didn't expect to be in the Pro Bowl. And when we send him there, surely he'll throw a pick on his first drive. And he did. Last night needs to be the last, the final, the end of the Pro Bowl games, and whatever they are. Fun to get the guys together? Yeah. Fun to see your favorite players hanging out? Puka Nacua? Yeah. Is it worth it? Did it do anything? No. Put it to rest. Out back behind the barn. Quick and easy. The best time was yesterday. Second best time is today. But, you know, the biggest storyline that I've been following, I would not have opened with that. I would not have given you that nugget. That was free for you. I accidentally watched the Pro Bowl, and I told you I wouldn't. But since I did, there you go. But I'm more perturbed today by the Hall of Fame committee than I am what we got from the Pro Bowl games. New England Patriots owner Robert Kraft. No happy ending today. Just like Bill Belichick, not selected for entry into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. He will not be eligible in his first opportunity for the class. And once again, the committee has shown us, has looked at us and said, but I don't know if we know ball. And you can tell me that, we believe Bill Belichick will come back to the NFL, and that's why we didn't let him in. We think he'll be an NFL coach again. We do not want him to be a Hall of Famer while also an active NFL coach. That's not an excuse to keep the best coach to ever grace the National Football League out of the Hall of Fame in his first opportunity. Well, yeah, I mean, there are other people we have to get in there. It's too many people to vote on. We can't get Robert Kraft in there. Look, whether you like Robert Kraft or not, whether you like New England or not, Spygate or not, Deflategate or not, Robert Kraft's Massagegate or not, it does not detract. I'm sorry, it does not detract from the fact that Robert Kraft helped build, as the owner of the New England Patriots, the greatest dynasty that football's ever seen, and one of the greatest dynasties that sports has witnessed. What matters to me is that we win on Sunday, Kraft said during an interview on CNBC's Squawk Box. Yeah, Squawk Box, baby. That is ahead of his organization playing in the Super Bowl. Like, what have you done for me lately? You know, after that playoff drought, we left Robert Kraft out because New England's been bad for so long. Turns out they're in the Super Bowl right now, as we speak, Sunday. Kraft said, that's a function of how the team we're invested in and organized is judged. Not about me making the Hall of Fame, but about whether or not we win on Sunday. I almost don't care if it's the worst guy you know who has the opportunity to get into the Hall of Fame. But if he's the best of all time at doing one thing, and the Hall of Fame is a class of people built for the best of all time at that one thing, sorry if you don't like them. Sorry if you're their enemy. But don't they deserve that? Their flowers? And I said this about Bill Belichick. Joe Paterno has been erased from college football history. Do you know why? Do you know why? Because he allowed an assistant, Jerry Sandusky, to ruin the lives of children, young boys, in the locker room of his program for decades. If you do that, if you let your assistant coach have his own little parties with underage boys in the locker room you know what? You kind of exclude yourself from Hall of Fame conversations or the right to be in the Hall. But in the case of Robert Kraft, he didn't do that. That's not what this was. He's left out for a myriad of excuses that you're going to hear. But what I don't really get about these excuses is that at the root, no matter what you say, it doesn't change the fact he might be the greatest owner of any franchise in NFL history. Look at the Super Bowl rings. Solomon Wilcots spoke yesterday on the Belichick Hall of Fame snub.
Look, I would have voted for him if I had a vote. I have all the respect for Coach Belichick. I think he is a Hall of Fame coach. I think he will be in the Hall of Fame. I certainly didn't do what everybody else did. I didn't sit around and say, why he didn't get in on the first ballot. What's going on here? Grown men don't whine. Grown men don't cry. There ain't no reason to send up a flare because he didn't get in on the first ballot. I thought it was an overreaction. In fact, it was such an overreaction, they blamed someone for Bill not getting in, and that person ended up voting for Bill Belichick. I said, I've never heard grown men whine and cry about something that means nothing on the great scale of things, because he is going to be in the Pro Football Hall of Fame.
You know, here's where I want to push back. Not that Solomon Wilcots, NFL vet, doesn't know a lot about football. But to me, it is cheaper to say, oh, he'll get there at some point. The added honor, the plus to the situation is being a first ballot Hall of Famer and the opportunity in your first ballot to be a Hall of Famer. And yeah, you're kind of giving me the Ed Cooley, Georgetown basketball coach, that when they lost a basketball game, he said, hey, there's murder in Gaza. Everybody's like, whoa, hey, whoa, what? It's like, yeah, you guys want to talk about Georgetown basketball? But there was Ruby Ridge. You're really going to mention Georgetown basketball when David Koresh did all that stuff in Waco? Hey, not that deep, not that serious. Hey, that's what Solomon's kind of giving you here is a lot more going on in life, a lot more to be worried about, a lot more to be upset about. I don't think it changes the fact the committee did not do a very good job, in my opinion, at their job, at what they're supposed to do. Hey, man, if we get to the end of this thing, guess what? Jerry Jones isn't a first ballot Hall of Famer. Can I say something? That's also not going to be right. Like, even if you don't like the guy, even if he hasn't won for you in a while, you would have given Jerry Jones Hall of Fame status in the year 2000. And sometimes it's just kind of what you have to do because those are some of the best at their craft at a certain point in time in the National Football League. Speaking of craft, Ross Tucker joined yesterday, Bleck and Abdallah, to talk about Belichick and Kraft being snubbed.
I think for a lot of the voters, it's sort of the convoluted voting system they have where you can only vote for 3 out of the 3 seniors candidates, the contributor and the coach. Those guys recognize that this is probably the only shot for LC Greenwood, Kenny Anderson, Roger Craig. And so they want to put their best foot forward to try to get those guys in. The players are always going to be the priority, I think, especially when it feels like a one-shot deal to get through that seniors committee and even get on the ballot.
If that is the case, if the system is broken, guess what? Sorry. It's not really I didn't do that. Robert Kraft didn't do that. Bill Belichick didn't do that. So you can be more mad at the system than you are the voters themselves, the committee themselves. You can be more mad at the system, no doubt, than you are the committee themselves. Does it make it right to Bill Belichick? Does it make it right to Robert Kraft? Never did I think I would have to come on the Drake Toll show and tell you Bill Belichick and Robert Kraft, the cards are stacked against them. But it's what's happening right now. And if the excuse is, well, we've got to get other guys in there, and this could be their only opportunity, then yes, fix the system, but also that has nothing to do with what Bill Belichick did, his legacy, the Super Bowls, what Robert Kraft did, his legacy, and the Super Bowls. Kraft even said, and we remember the whole breakup they had in New England. Doesn't seem like they're best of friends. Kraft even said he strongly believes Bill Belichick's record and body of work speak for themselves, and he should be a first ballot Hall of Famer. So two things can be true. I'm mad at the process, and I'm also mad at the committee. Well, we wanted to give everybody else a chance. I'm pro the most deserving getting in as fast as possible. Not, well, we wanted to give everybody else a chance. I don't really subscribe to that. 310-840-4910. 310-840-4910. This show is yours just as much as it is mine. And you can call that number by personal cell phone number. You can text that number, 310-840-4910. And you and I can hang out today. I'll be here till 9 a.m. Eastern time, that is. On the other side, Matt Nagy, offensive coordinator again in the National Football League. That didn't take long. Here's why it's going to work. And we'll hear a bit about the Mike McCarthy hire from some of the NFL's best, including Cam Hayward. Yeah, we will. That's all coming up right here on the Drake Toll Show.
You're talking Super Bowl this week. And
I'd like to dedicate this song to my partner, soul partner, Mr. Duck Sound, better known as the Sir Douglas Quintet from San Antonio. Wherever you are, brother. Wasted days and wasted nights I have left for you behind, for you don't belong to me. Your heart belongs to someone else. Why should I keep loving you when I know that you're not true? And why should I call your name when you're to blame for making me blue? Don't you remember the day that you went away and left me? I was so lonely, praying for you only, my love. Why should I keep loving you when I know that you're not true? And why should I call your name when you're to blame for making me blue? So lonely, pray for you only, my love. Why should I keep loving you when I know that you're not true? And why should I call your name when you're to blame for making me blue? I'd like to dedicate this song to my partner, soul partner, Mr. Duck Sound, better known as the Sir Douglas Quintet from San Antonio. Wherever you are, brother. Wasted days and wasted nights I have left for you behind, for you don't belong to me. Your heart belongs to someone else. Why should I keep loving you when I know that you're not true? And why should I call your name when you're to blame for making me blue? Don't you remember the day that you went away and left me? I was so lonely, prayed for you only, my love. Why should I keep loving you when I know that you're not true? And why should I call your name when you're to blame for making me blue?
Good morning. Hello. Hey. It's the Drake Toll Show. Drake Toll with you. From the Savannah Bananas organization, Locked On Big 12, Amazon Fire TV's college football kickoff, and most importantly, right here, the Drake Toll Show. The Super Bowl is on Sunday. We are so close that they have that State Farm commercial with Danny McBride, Keegan-Michael Key, where they're the loophole insurance company or something, and they're going to do a Super Bowl ad on Sunday. We're already seeing, for some reason, in the year of our Lord 2026, Super Bowl ads have crept into my Monday, Tuesday, now Wednesday. I don't think I like it. But we're that close to the New England Patriots and the Seattle Seahawks. And what's even cooler about the whole thing is the amount of Westwood One representation we have on Radio Row at the Super Bowl. Listening to Bleck and Abdallah yesterday, some of the biggest guests in the NFL you could ask for, walking around in San Francisco. Nick Costos, live from Radio Row. Jim Rome on Radio Row. Today, here's what you're going to get. If you stick around, if you join for the rest of the show on the Westwood One Sports app, you're listening right now in Dallas, Texas on the Fan. I mean, I say Dallas. You're not really in Dallas. You're in Anna. But it's all Dallas at this point, right? I mean, soon enough, Southern Oklahoma will just be Dallas. And if you keep listening to the show, Armin Williams joins. You don't know if you remember, Armin Williams, who would that? Yes. Live from the Super Bowl to give you an inside look what it's like when Quinnen Williams is walking around. And you're tasked with asking him to sit down for an interview on the radio. A weird job, different kind of job. But you, if you listen to the Drake Toll Show, are rewarded by getting insider access to the Super Bowl this week. So thanks for being here. The New York Football Giants will hire Matt Nagy as their offensive coordinator. Yeah. Woo! Surely that'll fix it. Surely that'll do it. Surely the pomp and circumstance, the hype, the happiness around the John Harbaugh hire will not be diluted at all by the name Matt Nagy. That's Adam Schefter who first reported that. Kansas City Chiefs offensive coordinator over the past 3 years, taking over for Eric Bieniemy. And, they won the Super Bowl with Nagy as the offensive coordinator. They went to a Super Bowl the year after, and this year they kind of bottomed out, but Patrick Mahomes was hurt, and there's any number of reasons why. But was it ever Matt Nagy? Did we ever say, oh, yeah, no, it's Matt Nagy. He's the reason that the Chiefs are doing this? Because if we learned anything from Eric Bieniemy, the same guy that you told me 3 or 4 years ago, he must be a head coach in the NFL. It's a travesty that he's not. This is one of the great injustices of the league, is that Eric Bieniemy is not a head coach in the National Football League. That was a huge issue. Remember that? Then come to find out after he left Kansas City, after he was out of the fold, where, by the way, he did not call plays, the Bieniemy, despite winning Super Bowls, despite leading the Chiefs offense, I'm using air quotes, leading the Chiefs offense to Super Bowl caliber heights. When you put Bieniemy in a vacuum or at another organization or at UCLA, it's just not going to work. You're not going to get there. He went to D.C. to prove himself. It did not work. He didn't get there. And then Matt Nagy, you know what? At the end of this with the Chiefs, they're like, yeah, come on back, Eric Bieniemy. We're not sure if Nagy's work. We're not sure if he's going to get you there. But the Giants, John Harbaugh, just gave him the keys to Jackson Dart, Cam Scatterbo, Malik Neighbors. Those are some pretty good names. Harbaugh obviously wanted to bring Todd Monken with him from Baltimore. And by the way, if your thought is, yeah, well, I mean, Todd Monken, Matt Nagy, John Harbaugh knows what he's doing. If that is your thought, please do keep in mind the prevalent rumor out of the Ravens camp with Bisciotti is that they wanted to fire Todd Monken. And John Harbaugh is so loyal, he said, if you fire him, you fire me. And Bisciotti said, well, okay, we're firing you then. Todd Monken's out the door. And so is his head coach, because his head coach wanted to stand up for him. So if you're thinking, well, I trust John Harbaugh, he's got to have the right mindset when it comes to hiring offensive coordinators. Well, the guy he just got fired for is Todd Monken. The guy he just hired is Matt Nagy. 20th best offense in the nation last season. I still remember those years with the Chicago Bears, 2018 to 2021. Still a finalist in Tennessee to be their head coach. Robert Saleh got that one. But, man, I just don't think with Patrick Mahomes, the Chiefs finishing 9th, 16th, and 20th over the past 3 years in total yards is great. And, yes, Andy Reid's the play caller. Yes, we can pin that on Reid as well. But they didn't crack the top 10 in scoring in any of those 3 seasons. Does that give you a lot of confidence? I can tell you this. It gives me less confidence now after what I've learned, what I've seen, what I've leaned into, than Mike McCarthy to the Pittsburgh Steelers. That's what this whole segment's about, by the way. Coaches, the carousel, the 30,000-foot view of these hires and what they mean to the NFL today, as many of them were made a week or two ago. The Matt Nagy one's more fresh, but the Mike McCarthy one's not. And the more we press on, the more I think, shoot, man. All right. I'll trust it. I'll give you a shot. Mike McCarthy, the hometown guy. I understand what it means to go home. Do I think this is a long-term play for the Steelers? In fact, I know it's not a long-term play for the Steelers. Their last 3 head coaches have all been there for a decade plus. McCarthy will not. In 10 years, he'll be 73 years old. And McCarthy is a bigger guy. I'm not sure 10 years from now he'll still be walking the sidelines, just parading around, sprinting around. Yeah, I mean, be realistic here. The Steelers are looking for a 3, 4, 5-year fix. They want to win 11 games in the regular season and then lose in the wild card round. Sound familiar? It's already what they do. But Charlie Batch spoke to You Better You Bet Nick Costos yesterday and said he loves the Mike McCarthy hire.
When you listen to Art Rooney and in his press conference, he said, why would you want to go a year wasting a season and not having a chance to win the Super Bowl trophy? And that starts with the culture that they actually provide. And I understand that. And what the reason why I differ from you, and I love the hire, actually, and the reason why I love it is because you're looking for somebody to now bring that instant credibility, going from one veteran coach to another. It's been 15 years since you've been in the Super Bowl, 17 since you won it. Now you're looking for somebody to spark the offense and then also help develop the next franchise quarterback. And they're hoping that Will Howard is potentially that guy. So yes, he may not be here 15 to 20 years, but based off what they need currently right now, I think it's an excellent hire.
I mean, yeah, Charlie Batch knows ball, but excellent hire. I told you, I'm feeling better about it. I like he's a local guy. I like the sentiment. The sentiment is fun, but excellent hire. It's that kind of rhetoric where I start to push back a little bit and say, I don't know if Mike McCarthy is an excellent hire for the Pittsburgh Steelers. And Rooney saying things along the lines of, I don't know why we would lose for a year. It's kind of the reason you're in the situation you're in. We watched with success New England decide we're going to lose. We're going to hire Gerard Mayo, and I'm telling you, I'm looking you in the eyes, we are going to lose. They are now in the Super Bowl. You can look at an organization like the Jacksonville Jaguars. They bring in Trevor Lawrence. They're really good. They suck for a couple of years. They lose, get good draft picks. Bang. Here they are again. They're good again. They're in the postseason again, hosting a playoff game. We've seen more teams go through rebuild, winning, rebuild, winning, all the time that the Pittsburgh Steelers have been in the middle of it, in purgatory, in no man's land, between a rebuild and between winning. Is Mike McCarthy the guy who's going to institute a rebuild? Oh, well, we don't need a rebuild. You do if you want to win a Super Bowl. This isn't a team, a roster. Will Howard is being thrown around as your franchise quarterback. That doesn't scream Super Bowl. Here's what Cam Hayward told Jim Rome yesterday on Westwood One Sports about the Mike McCarthy hire.
I love that he loves Pittsburgh. That means the world to me because that's someone who's going to value the job. That's someone who's going to make the most out of this opportunity. There's a hunger there. There's a respect there. His family still lives in Pittsburgh. And so we talked about that. My family still lives in Pittsburgh as well. And, you know, we've resonated that his brother was actually my next door neighbor for all those years ago. So I've had a leg up in admiring him from, afar. But he's a hell of a coach too. He's won a Super Bowl. And, players here today that have had a chance to be coached by him have a lot of respect for him as well.
Bang. Cam Hayward nailed it. This is it. What you just heard from Cam Hayward was free for you. You didn't have to pay for that. You had to hear that for free. Is that I love that he loves Pittsburgh. It's a saving grace he loves Pittsburgh. It's nice that he's home. That's a fun storyline with this. And it's maybe the one part you can hang your hat on and say, Mike McCarthy, a week removed from this hire, 10 days removed from hearing about this hire, maybe he will work because he gets us. But at some point, I think I'm just asking the Pittsburgh Steelers to lose. I'm telling them they cannot win a Super Bowl with the roster they have, with what they've got. New England knew that. They rebuilt. Jacksonville knew that. They rebuilt. Right now, the Giants are in the midst of what could be, hey, we've rebuilt. We sucked for a couple of years. Got the guys we wanted, Malik Neighbors, Cam Scatteraboo, Jackson Dart in the draft, built an offense in the draft. This is the culmination of our rebuild. What would Pittsburgh be the culmination of? Mediocrity? When mediocrity culminates, you get the Pittsburgh Steelers. What's the end goal of mediocrity? What does it look like when we get to the end of the road of mediocrity and say, look, boys, look around you. Ah, yes, sea level. Ha, ha, ha. That's the Pittsburgh Steelers. And I'm just not sure if Mike McCarthy is going to get you there or give you something different. When we return, Todd Monken fired off on Jim Schwartz. And Jim Schwartz is, a Cleveland staple right now, the defensive coordinator they want to keep around, have on Monken's staff. But Monken, in speaking to the media during his introductory press conference, said he has spoken to Schwartz, and Schwartz reportedly told people he's not coming back to Cleveland. And what Tom Monken had to say, you'll want to hear if you stick around, and you will. Don't touch the dial. Ethos Life, the easy way to get life insurance in 10 minutes, up to $3 million in coverage with no medical exams, just a few health questions. Get your free quote at checkethos.com, not available in all states. Checkethos.com, not available in all states. What did Todd Monken say about Jim Schwartz that rubbed him so wrong? That's coming up. Westwood One Sports, the Westwood One Sports app. This is the Drake Toll Show.
This is the week, the entire NFL season.
Dear friend, if you want to feel better, don't let the devil make you toss this letter. If you've been crossed up by hoodoo, voodoo, the wizard or the lizard, you got family trouble, man trouble, woman trouble, no night through the rubber. You're looking for a true friend or a true lover, or if you've been living undercover. Well, I'm coming to your town to break it all down and help you with all of this. I'm looking to help you find bliss. One day, one way, can't miss. I'm here to tear all the walls down. Doesn't matter if it's a large town or a small town. Just like Joshua and the fabled walls of Jericho, I'm here to tear down the institution. God spoke to me, said, listen to me. I anoint you with the power that'll get them all moving. You're agitated, you're prayed and meditated, you're concentrated on getting elevated. By sundown, one day, you who come will be blessed with a big money blessing. You will be doubted by all the unbelievers on all of the things I'm addressing. But you must tell 7 friends. You must first bring 7 friends. And don't be selfish and keep this all to yourself, and don't eat shellfish. Hate is trying to take someone else's love for yourself. But I'm here to tell you that love is trying to help someone else. I realize that you have tried and are just about ready to give up. But I got good news for you. God has spoken to my mind and told me to tell you to get moving in the right direction for a change. I'm gonna put you in the fast lane. You need to see me right away so I can fix this up. You need to see me right away. You need to see me right away so I can fix this up. You need to see me right about now. God 7, open up the windows of heaven and pour out a rich and mighty blessing. Not on this town or her town, but your town. Are you ready for the message? I have a special financial blessing that once I have placed in your hand. Yeah, I want you to begin using this blessing on the very first day that you can. And if you are suffering a straight sickness, or someone is blocking up all of your success, you need to see me right away so I can fix this.
Good morning. It is the Drake Toll Show. Drake Toll with you from the Savannah Bananas organization, Locked On Big 12. Thank you for getting up every morning and doing this with me. You know, you miss portions of the show. Wow. I've become a tea guy now. And today we're trying out this Teely Proud Peak Energy L-theanine, who's to say, caffeine. What is this thing? Black tea. It's bitter and tart and dark, but it's supposed to wake me up, apparently. That's what I'm saying, is thank you. You and I wake up together in the morning, and it's awesome. Not like that. No. We don't wake up together, but, you know, we both arrive at this moment. And if you missed part of the show, when I was growing up, what I loved about radio, what I wanted to bring back, when I got this offer, I thought, wow, I cannot wait to bring back radio like I remember it, like I liked it, like when I was a kid. And I would sit in my keyboarding class, and I would listen to Pat Bradley, the Shooter, Justin Acree, every day from like 9 a.m. to noon, Central Time in Valonia, Arkansas. And it was awesome. And I liked the show so much, I would try to listen from the very beginning to the very end so I could catch everything, all of it. Now, the beauty of the modern era, 2026, the year of our Lord, is if you miss portions of the Drake Toll Show, you go to your favorite podcast app. Doop, doop, doop. That's the noise it makes when you open it. You search Drake Toll Show, and bang, here we are, you and I together. You and me together? Yeah, me. We'll see. You can go to YouTube, the Drake Toll Show on YouTube. Same dang thing, man. It's our opportunity every day to connect with one another for 3 full hours. And that I'm grateful for. You know what I'm not grateful for? Today's biggest losers of the day. Here we go. Forewarning, you, wherever you are, could very well be a biggest loser. Addie Bates, producer of the Drake Toll Show. I take issue with the first biggest loser that you inserted today. We both kind of threw in our own. They're comparing Punxsutawney Phil to J.J. McCarthy because his accuracy rate is 39%. Punxsutawney Phil, that is, which is very similar to McCarthy's. Come on, man. I think 39% for the groundhog is pretty impressive. If you ask me, it's pretty impressive.
Do you think that Justin Jefferson would prefer to have Punxsutawney Phil over J.J. McCarthy?
Oh, that's a good question. I'm going to go with no for now, but I'm monitoring the situation actively, and I do think Mel Kiper would be intrigued by this. You don't think that, a groundhog predicting the weather better than Shohei Ohtani can hit a baseball is impressive?
Yeah, but when he just does things that I don't like. Like, we need to air fry him, okay?
It is funny. I say funny. Terribly dark and awful and terrible. Punxsutawney Phil was in the Epstein files 4 times. Did you see that? I sent that to you. 4 times.
Okay, so we got to get rid of him, okay?
Yep, he's got to go. He's got to go.
What was he doing on that island?
Per Adam Schefter, Punxsutawney Phil said he deeply regrets his association with Jeffrey Epstein, and the relationship was strictly professional.
Not today, Satan.
Not today, Satan. I'm just trying to buy a plane, guys. Stop freaking out. Our second biggest loser today, the Drake Toll Show, Westwood One Sports, the Westwood One Sports app. That's not the loser. That's just me.
Yeah, come on now.
Reminding you where you are and what you're doing. Have you seen the Celebrity All-Star Game lineup, Addie?
Yes.
Yes. So let's listen to this, world. Here are a bunch of names I've never heard of. I'm going to give you all 22 names, and I want them to get progressively worse. So Jenna Bandy is going to be there. No clue. Shams will play. Gotcha. Got that one. Taco Fall. I'm in. Rome Flynn. That's a fake name. Made up.
Jim Rome burner account.
Yep, not a real guy. Keegan-Michael Key. Yeah, Key and Peele. I got you. Jeremy Lin. Linsanity. Rick Schnall. I coughed up a Rick Schnall this morning. Dylan Wang.
Yeah.
Oof. Of the Wang family?
Everybody Wang Chung tonight.
Everybody Wang Chung tonight. Amon-Ra St. Brown. I know that one. Cafu? C-A-F-U? More like F me for having to read these. And then Glorilla. One can only hope that there's a formidable coach. Yep, there it is. Giannis Antetokounmpo, the guy who wants to be traded. Alex Anthanasis will all coach the team alongside Mookie Betts.
Because of course.
Right? Let's have the three Antetokounmpo brothers and Mookie Betts try to coach Dylan Wang, Rick Schnall, Jenna Bandy. That is the first roster for the celebrity game. Oh, wait. There's more. Get ready to learn Badshah, buddy. Never heard of this guy. B-A-D-S-H-A-H.
You're just making up names.
No, yeah. Cody Jones. Went to high school with the Cody Jones. Could be him, surely. Listen, okay, stop me, genuinely. When I get to a name you've literally ever heard of in the NBA All-Star Celebrity Game, you ready?
Yeah.
This is a whole roster. Badshah, Cody Jones, Andre DeGrasse, Matt Ishbia, Simu Liu.
Wait, yes.
Mustard. The man who goes by just Mustard. Adrian Nunez. You've heard of Simu Liu? What do they do? What does they do?
Isn't he the one who he's an actor? Like he played, like he was in the Barbie movie, played one of the Kens.
Sorry, I'm not well versed on who all played Kens, but yes, no, you're right. This looks a Ken kind of guy. He's Canadian. Simu Liu, only 36 years old, by the way, alive. Okay, yeah, he's in the All-Star Celebrity All-Star Game. Adrian Nunez, any bells there?
No.
Yeah, I don't know who Mustard is either. Taylor Frankie Paul.
Is it like is it mustard on that beat? Is that mustard?
Probably. I don't know what that means. And my grandma's listening, and she just jumped off of a 7-story building.
You don't know, like, the mustard tag and rap?
You just said mustard on that beat.
Yo.
And my grandma said, I can't take it anymore.
Wow.
I can't keep doing this.
Wow. Blowing you.
Adrian Nunez, don't know it. Taylor Frankie Paul, I believe, thanks to my girlfriend's love of watching Slop TV, that's a girl from Secret Lives of Mormon Wives.
Current girlfriend?
Yes, my current girlfriend. Secret Lives of Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints Wives. You know you're not supposed to say Mormon. Can't say Mormon.
We do not care.
Did you know that?
I do not care. Well, yeah, of course.
If you want your religion called something, I'll call it that. Your faith. Taylor Frankie
Why can't we
Paul.
call them Mormons?
Because they're not Mormons. It's the Book of Mormon. They practice, like they're Christian. They, practice via what the Book of Mormon details, as well as the Bible. But they're not Mormons. It's just the Book of Mormon. They are the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. You didn't know this?
That's a mouthful. Come on now.
LDS on second reference.
Yeah. They would be disappointed in me. I'm drinking coffee right now.
That's a complex situation. Yeah. We'll have a seminar sometimes. We'll do July 14th, the Drake Toll Show, religion games. We'll learn things about new religions that day.
Drake is an honorary Mormon.
Or we'll talk MLB.
Yes.
What's worse?
You know what, Drake Toll? Keep drinking your tea.
That's good tea, actually. Adrian Nunez, Taylor Frankie Paul, Jason Williams. All right. Keenan Allen. Yeah. And then they genuinely thought we can slip this one in there and Drake won't notice it's a completely fake person. Oh. Nicholas Van Steenberge.
So they just slipped that in there.
Nicholas Van Steenberge. They'll be coached by Anthony Anderson, Lethal Shooter, and Chris Brickley. Chris Brickley, the basketball coach.
Why, of course.
And Lethal Shooter. I was told those are bad.
Wow. That's certainly a celebrity roster of all time. That's one of the rosters.
Cannot wait to see Rome Flynn and Rick Shaw go against Mustard and Nicholas Van Steenbergen. That's the matchup that I'm watching in the NBA All-Star celebrity games. They're just making up new celebrity names. They're just making it up. Biggest losers today. The Big 12, but also kind of UCF. The Big 12 conference tweets, Big 12 announces fine of UCF in accordance with the Big 12 conference principles and standards of sportsmanship. League issued a $25,000 fine of UCF for the court storming prior to the conclusion of Saturday's men's basketball game against number 11 Texas Tech. UCF, as a part of this, they retweet this with the Stephen A. Smith, "We don't care." And then they asked their fan base, they put a Venmo out and asked their fan base to donate $9 a piece. Number one, I mean, whatever, $25,000 fines, a formality for, like, that was half my tuition in a year. It was my one semester tuition at Baylor. But Addie, is it in poor taste that the team would retweet it with the "We don't care" from Stephen A. Smith and then ask their fan base to each donate dollars?
Yes. That's ridiculous. You obviously care. Honestly, asking the fan base for a certain amount of money is kind of wild. I cannot lie.
Yeah.
That is absolutely insane. Like, go to your donors. Do that behind the scenes.
Don't even go to it's $25,000. Like, just pull it out of the drawer.
If I could pull that out of a drawer, Jesus.
Yeah, well,
I wouldn't be working the Drake Toll show.
Like they're like $1 billion, at the school. So, biggest loser of the day. No, anyone who's not East Carolina football, get this. Mr. Beast just asked his followers on Instagram if he could invest money into the ECU football program to help them try to compete for a national championship. Oh. If anybody can pull $25,000 out of their hat, Mr. Beast is on that list, and now he wants to broker the ECU football program. Surely this will go well for the rest of college football. You're a biggest loser if you're not getting Mr. Beast money. Later in the show, we'll get to the All-American halftime show, as well as Patrick Mahomes' father being arrested again. Sponsored by Robinhood. You expect more from yourself, expect more from your money. Get started today at Robinhood.com/yourmoney, Robinhood.com/yourmoney. 310-840-4910. You can get involved. 310-840-4910. It's Westwood One Sports, the Westwood One Sports app. When we return, our obituaries. Who died today and the quickie, all right here on the Drake Toll Show.
This is Westwood One Sports.
Look around your world, pretty baby. Is it everything you hoped it'd be? The wrong guy, the wrong situation, the right time to roll to me. Roll to me. And look into your heart, pretty baby. Is it aching with some nameless need? Is there something wrong and you can't put your finger on it? Right then, roll to me. And I don't think I have ever seen a soul so in despair. So if you want to talk the night through, guess who will be there? So don't try to deny it, pretty baby. You've been down so long you can hardly see. When the engine stalls and it won't stop raining, it's the right time to roll. In the town of North Texas on a ride, 100 miles east of the state line, 200 clicks from the old quarry, and west of those windy old pines, 900 miles south of the border, and 300 north of the other one. Between the lake and the rolling hills, 93 million miles from the sun.
Good morning, everyone.
Won't you take me home? North Texas on a ride.
You know, sometimes you just wake up,
Take me there to where the birds
you see your breath. Even in San Francisco, LA, it's been cold the last couple days. You just think, I need some good, like around the campfire, folky, southern something. And that song, North Texas Honorado, has 2.7 thousand plays on YouTube. No one knows it. That's you. That's brand new information for you. You just got that. North Texas Honorado. I don't lock that. I do not lock that word. It is a made-up word. Yes, it is. And the song is making fun of other country songs by just naming distances. Funny. This is the Drake Toll Show. Drake Toll with you, Westwood One Sports, the Westwood One Sports app. Let's go. It's time to find out who died today in history. This is our obituaries. Let's start here. Jim Rome spoke to Tom Pelissero yesterday, who said, yeah, man, the NFLPA, we're talking about it. We could see it. The NFLPA wanting 18 games. Here's what Tom had to say to Jim Rome.
Should have a new executive director full-time in a month or so. They always have their rep meeting at the start of March. They'll have someone in place. That's when the real negotiations are going to begin. There have been conversations, but that's not the same as exchanging bargaining proposals. It feels like an inevitability, no matter how much the NFLPA says it's not an inevitability. It probably would come in concert with reducing the preseason again. The questions are, is there going to be a second bye that's incorporated here? What does that mean for international games? Roger keeps saying we're going to get it to 16 games. My personal belief, speaking on my behalf, is eventually the goal will be 32. When they get to 16, we talk about 32 international games. Every team goes and plays 2 at a time. But that's going to be part of the next deal. When you look at where the salary cap has gone, Jim, it's gone from $120 million in 2013 to over $300 million is the projection for next year. It's a revenue sharing agreement, which means that revenue in the NFL in like a 12-year span has essentially tripled. That is a wild number. The NFL has been very deliberate about how it's spreading the product. You're seeing that with the international announcements we've had recently here. Last year was the first year in Madrid, the second year in Brazil. This year it's going to Paris. They're going to Australia this year. Those are not, unlike Europe, markets that have been cultivated for decades. But this is all leading up to the 2028 LA Olympic Games,
right?
Where you quite possibly are going to have the biggest NFL stars out there. And much like the 1992 Dream Team, whatever the NFL equivalent of Charles Barkley dunking on some poor guy from Angola, you're going to see that. And the goal is to get kids all over the place playing flag football. And then eventually these markets where like Australia, Paris, who's watching the NFL in those places? There are people doing that, but this can become part of the fabric of this thing.
Rest in peace, the NFL playing 17 games. I will say 16, 15, 14. Like, rest in peace, the NFL playing 20 games at this point, because here in a few years, Roger Goodell is going to realize, wait a second, more game equal more money? Why not play more game? This year, when literally all of your favorite players on the planet were hurt, just want you to remember that. They were probably hurt because they had to play games in San Francisco amongst that electromagnetic field thing. But the NFLPA, any sort of health, that's out the window. That is dead today. Also dead. Say goodbye to Sean McVay's vacation time. Yeah, there we we go. Laura Jimenez, she's got it on tap there. Sean McVay spoke via Zoom call and had some really interesting things to say. This is per Ari, talking about his team's hiring head coaches off of his staff, and him not being able to go on vacation ever.
We got a lot of great coaches in-house, but our job is to continuously build, and it's like putting together a team. You know, your coaching staff, and we've had a lot of reps at it for a lot of the right reasons. But I am excited about diving in, and it never fails. Every time me and my wife go on vacation, somebody's usually getting a head job, and then I'm spending too much time on my phone.
Sean McVay is just too good. Just way too good. So good they keep hiring assistants away from him so he can't go on vacation, and he's got to watch his phone and try to rebuild his staff. Good problem to have there, Sean. Good problem to have. Also dead today. And this one's an interesting one. I'm really making Laura work here. Todd Monken and his possible support for Jim Schwartz? Here is what Browns head coach Todd Monken had to say about his QB1 and Jim Schwartz.
My anticipation is we're not going to change the system. Very difficult to go against. Not planning on changing the system. We're built for the system that they're in currently. And I'm not going to get into staffing because that's not at this time to get into that. But they can be rest assured that we're going to keep the same system. We're still going to let them attack. We're still going to let them play free. I can't see any other way. They're a big reason why I took this job. The defensive players. I didn't take this job because of Jim Schwartz. I have a lot of respect for Jim Schwartz, but as I would hope he has for me. But I took it because of the players that are here, the ownership, Andrew Berry, and the ability to build this roster from the ground up on the offensive side. So, and I said this to the other guys. I didn't think I'd say it, but I'm going to say it. When I was preparing for the Cleveland Browns, I wasn't trying to chip Jim Schwartz. I was chipping Myles Garrett. And when I was sliding a protection to the outside backers or Grant Delpit that were blitzing off the edge, I was sliding the protection of the players. And when I was worried about throwing to the right against Denzel Ward or Tyson Campbell to the left, that's who I was worried about throwing at.
Yeah, man. When Todd Monken was preparing to play a game against the Cleveland Browns, he wasn't preparing for Jim Schwartz. He was preparing for Myles Garrett. Oh, bars. Only problem here, Todd, is that the organization and the fans actually really like Jim Schwartz, and they want him to stay, and they're kind of throwing the kitchen sink for him to stay. And he might be your next defensive coordinator, whether or not you want him to be. And if that's the case, when that's the case, I'm just not sure if that's what we had to say at our opening press conference about Jim Schwartz. But dead today would be Jim Schwartz and Todd Monken having a good start in their tenure in Cleveland. Also dead today, Lindsey Vaughn's ACL. Alive today is Toughness. She says in a press conference from Italy, she tore her ACL on Friday, but aims to race in the Olympic downhill Sunday anyway. Says she skied today and will wear a knee brace. So, hey, gone is ACL, and she mentioned all the other things like wrong with the knee. It's a lot. It's pretty extensive. But alive is Lindsey Vaughn's hopes at a medal in the Olympics. She's going to ski on a torn ACL. Pretty awesome. Good job, Lindsey. Dead today, the Pro Bowl. I watched it last night, portions of it reluctantly. Didn't care. Didn't want to watch it. Went to Nicky's 1971. They had the cheapest crab legs in town. Good crab legs, too. They had the game on the TV. I almost asked them to just turn it off. Ian Rappaport says that Jets QB Justin Fields was asked to participate in the Pro Bowl games. He declined. Jones to China says, if you have Justin Fields declining Pro Bowl invitations, that should be a sign. Just wrap this up. We're good. We're good. No more Pro Bowl, please. Make it end. Make it end. And finally, our last obituary. Rest in peace, Patrick Mahomes' dad's freedom. Happened again. Gosh dang it, man. It happened again. He got arrested. He's been arrested. Patrick Mahomes' father, Patrick Mahomes Sr., was arrested yesterday for allegedly violating his probation for his DWI sentence. He's been arrested for a DUI a total of 3 times. Oh, man. It's officially Super Bowl week. Mahomes' dad got arrested. It's Super Bowl week. And you're out there like, I don't know if I would have locked him to talk about that man's personal life. The mugshot's just like publicly on the internet. That's where I found this, was the internet. Those are our obituaries today. It is time for the Quickie. Top 5 headlines in sports. Addie Bates produces the Drake Toll Show. She's going to read all 5 headlines. I'm going to have a minute to respond to each of them. Addie, are you ready?
Yep, here's number 1. Probably the biggest headline. Clippers deal James Harden to the Cavs, land Darius Garland, and a second-round pick in return.
Man, there goes that man James Harden again. Just doing what James Harden do. The Darius Garland piece is the bigger portion of this to me. Harden being hawked across the NFL again is not a surprise at all. And actually, I think his career is marred by the fact that he just keeps playing in different places now. Like, I'll give you 4 or 5 years and then see ya. 4 or 5 years and see ya. And, oh, we got our franchise guy. His name is James Harden. See ya. I don't think that's good for the reputation and career of one James Harden. And I do not think that this move is going to help James Harden. But hey, for Darius Garland, yeah, man, why not? And look, Harden's old, 36 now, but I don't think he's lost his game. He dropped 30 the other night. He's good. He's going to be fine. But Addie, he played for the Thunder for a few years, then the Rockets for a few years, and the Nets for a little bit, and the Sixers for a little bit, and the Clippers for a little bit. I mean, come on.
I think it's obvious that at 36, like, he's in win now mode. Like, he does not have years down the line. Quite frankly, he's old. Darius Garland, 10 years younger. I think it's a good move for both sides because the Cavs obviously way better than the Clippers. So I think that was the move that needed to be done.
Has Harden ever been in win now?
Well, he has to be. He's a geriatric.
I know, but it's has he ever wanted to win? Does he really want to win?
He's just happy to be there.
This is Darren Peterson. All right, that's over a minute. Sorry.
LeBron James expects to stay with the Lakers through the season.
Pretty crazy, man. We're getting to the point where there are children out there who are watching LeBron James and seeing, obviously, the end of his career, illustrious GOAT conversation career. And they say, oh, yeah, LeBron James, the Laker, which just will never be my psyche. That's never – what do you mean LeBron James, the Laker? But, yeah, like he's going to play the bulk of his career, and not the total bulk, but a massive chunk of his career with the Lakers. That is kind of like a 7-year-old that's only known LeBron on the Lakers. That I don't think I like that. But congrats, LeBron, for staying in Los Angeles.
You saying that out loud, I actually hated that. Like that,
but it's true, right?
I didn't like that. That made me a little
sucks, but it's true. It's really true.
I don't like some of the things you've been saying this segment.
If you're an 11-year-old, you're like, oh yeah, LeBron James, I love him. He's my favorite Laker. I'm like, stop.
Oh, all right. Here's your next headline. Falcons president Matt Ryan won't commit to Michael Penix Jr. as a starter.
Neither would I. You know what, Matt? Neither would I. You should do, if Mike Pence has the courage, then Matt Ryan will play himself at quarterback for the Falcons. He will be the first ever president/quarterback who was also an analyst for a bit. Would love to see it. I mean, this is better than doing what the Vikings did and saying we are fully committed to J.J. McCarthy when they knew that Sam Darnold could probably win for you. Not to say there is a Sam Darnold in the QB room in Atlanta, but I don't think Michael Penix Jr. has to be your guy or Kevin Stefanski's guy. Namely, if Stefanski says, I can't win with him at quarterback, because Stefanski saw a revolving door at quarterback after Baker Mayfield in Cleveland. So you err on the side of Stefanski, and I don't think you put your chips on the table of Michael Penix Jr.
I wonder what Phillip Rivers is up to. Another guy. All right.
Coaching the Bills. He's coaching the Bills.
Let's go. So back. Cooper Flagg checks out with a 36.96, the first teenager to ever have 3 consecutive 30-point games. Oh, by the way, they lost.
They do continue to lose. They're not the worst team in the NBA, but they're not the most fun to watch because they do lose. And this one was at home. Up 19-31 now. But they have Cooper Flagg, who is the rookie of the year. Also, I'm learning now for the first time, Flag is only averaging 20 points a game. I thought he's 25, 26. I say only. It's more than me by 20.1 points. But look, hello, Rookie of the Year, Cooper Flag. Unless, Con Knipple jumps in there and steals it from him.
Of course, as always, we're still monitoring the situation really closely.
Very closely.
Once we find out, we'll give you the breaking news.
We will have Kevin Harlan on later this week to talk about Cooper Flag and Con Knipple exclusively.
Here's the biggest headline. Doberman pincher named Penny wins Best in Show at the Westminster Dog Show.
And you know what? You know what you're thinking right now? I bet Drake didn't watch that. I bet he's seeing this for the first time. But this is a headline. No, I did. Fox Sports 1. Because while I was eating my crab legs and watching the joke of a Pro Bowl, the Pro Bowl games, you know what else was on? The Westminster Dog Show. And it rocked. And they were flopping their ears, and they were fluffy, and I liked it. So now what? Now what, Addie Bates?
Was Bear there?
I watched that, and I did. No, he wasn't at the crab leg restaurant with me.
No.
What?
Why didn't you enter him in the dog show? Come on now. Bad dog dag.
He would eat a child. And
I mean, that makes that's great television.
Yeah. It's kind of like the other day. Sorry, I'm going a little bit long, but it's just me peeling the total curtain back to the world. Remember when the guy climbed that building the other day in Dallas?
Yes.
Yeah. Somebody sent in our college group chat, a bunch of buddies of mine, like praying for him, hope he's safe. Really don't want this to take a bad turn.
Oh.
To which I responded with, yeah, because I watch NASCAR hoping they never crash. The crashes are the worst part. Like, everyone in America is watching for one reason right now. Like, don't take yourself so seriously. You're sending a message in your group chat saying, really hoping he's okay, nervous for him. Like, nah, dog. We're watching this because we know what could happen.
Oh, man.
That's brutal. That's the Quickie, sponsored by Progressive Commercial Insurance, protecting your business vehicles 24/7. See if you can save at progressivecommercial.com. Seattle, New England. Here's why the Seahawks are going to beat the Patriots. And I'll also tell you on this day of all days why the Patriots will beat the Seattle Seahawks. Oh, he can't make his mind up. I can. And I know who will win. I'll tell you later this week who will win. But for right now, here's why Seattle will beat New England coming up on the Drake Toll Show.
It's the biggest game on the planet, and we are.
Now one of these days I'll wake up tired of the life I'm living and feel inspired to get off my ass and be on my way. One of these days I'll wake up steady and ready to go like Richard Petty. I'm gonna wake up and change my ways. One of these days, one of these days, I'm gonna find me a better way to live my life and carry on without the strife. I know it won't come easy, but believe me when I say I'm gonna wake up and change my ways. One of these days, one of these days I'm coming up to it, gonna put my foot right down and do it. It's about damn time. I made a change. One of these days I'm bound for glory, and that's the moral of this whole story. I'm gonna wake up and change my ways. One of these days, one of these days, I'm gonna find me a better way to live my life and carry on without the strife. I know it won't come easy, but believe me when I say I'm gonna wake up and change my ways. One of these days, one of these days, I'm gonna find me a better way to live my life and carry on without the strife. I know it won't come easy, but believe me when I say I'm gonna wake up and change my ways. One of these days, I'm gonna wake up and change my ways. One of these days.
In the town of North Texas on a ride, 100 miles east of the state line, 200 clicks from the old quarry, and west of those windy old pines, 900 miles south of the border, and 300 north of the other one. Between the lake and the rolling hills, 93 million miles from the sun. Won't you take me home to North Texas on a ride? Won't you take me there to where the birds sing with a smooth vibrato in Texas on a ride? 5,000 miles from a big city where the crocodiles and the cacti grow. Go west on Interstate 35, take 4 rights and you're back on that road. Take a left, take a left, take another left, then another left, head east and you're heading home to North Texas on a ride, the town where the dodos roam. Won't you take me home to North Texas on a ride? Won't you take me there to where the birds sing?
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Drake Toll Show. 5:23 and 18 seconds in Ogden, Utah, and you are here with yours truly, Drake Toll. It's good to see you. It's good to be with you at Drake C. Toll Show on Twitter. That's a beautiful place where I go see Mike in Baltimore, where I see people who will chime in and say, listening to the show, happy to listen to the show. I go to YouTube. There is a Drake Toll Show YouTube. This is live on video, too, which you know what? I take a bit of issue with. You say, well, why do you take issue with it? It was probably your idea. You did that. You innovated this. You're the young guy. I take issue with it because I like radio, old-fashioned radio. But you know what? I also get it. I understand. If you don't have video, you die. You go to the wayside. It's a sign of the times, right? Video killed the radio star. Everybody has a YouTube channel now. And guess what? I like the video accompaniment most of the time. Oh, accompaniment. Yeah, you like that? I watch Black and Abdallah, which is on video now, or Jim Rome, which has always been on video, Nick Costos. And I kind of like seeing the host. That's why the Drake Toll Show is live on Twitter and YouTube every single day. And you can play it back, listen to it later. Fun stuff, right? That's free for you. It's free. Westwood One Sports, the Westwood One Sports app, the home of the freaking Super Bowl. Addie, what does he say on the San Francisco guy?
In good old San Fran.
Yeah. Good old San Fran. That's what I've always said. I've always said good old San Fran. It's what I call it.
We've been saying that since day one on this show, okay?
Yep.
We started that.
As somebody who lives in a city that was founded in 1733. Good old San Fran. 1849, baby. The classic, old school, from way back in the day. You guys get it? Good old San Fran. That's where the game will be hosted, and that's where a lot of our network is. At the beauty pageant of sports, hairspray to speakers to just loud. It's a construction zone when you go to Radio Row at the Super Bowl. This year being in San Francisco, it's super early, like ungodly early. That's the reason somebody asked me the other day. They said, hey, man, I know a few of the folks in the network are in San Francisco. Are you guys going to be there? What's your plan? I was like, man, be there? We would be in the ballroom. We would be awake at 1:45, 1:30, 1:45, in the ballroom, set up, ready to go at 2 a.m., live on the air at 3 a.m. from 3 to 6. And the beauty of Radio Row at the Super Bowl is starting fairly early in the morning, 7, 8 a.m. local time, you'll have some of the biggest names in sports walking around. You're like, oh, that's Quinnen Williams. Like, yeah, it's Quinnen Williams. You go grab him. You say, wait a second. I think that's Ryan Leaf. And then you're like, hey, Dave, is that Ryan Leaf? Yeah, that's Ryan Leaf. You go grab him. This doesn't happen in the mornings. So we have taken the liberty of running the ship and ensuring that all goes well across the network today. On a day where storylines have been nuts this week. We've talked about anything but the Super Bowl. The Epstein list with Steve Tisch. By the way, it has finally released the rankings of Conference USA schools mentioned in the Epstein list. Liberty is number 1, 2,723 mentions. Ooh, that's not good. The University of Texas, El Paso is number 2, 288 mentions. And number 3 is Florida International with 82. Those have been storylines this week. The Epstein files, the Hall of Fame with Robert Kraft or Bill Belichick, coaching carousel around the NFL. We have talked about anything but the Super Bowl on national TV and national radio. I told you yesterday, I had the TV on for an hour and a half in the morning, 4 quad box. I'm watching 4 national shows in the morning, and none of them are talking about the Super Bowl. Well, that's what I'm here for. To tell you why the Seattle Seahawks, the number 1 team in the National Football League in DVOA. I love me some defensive efficiency metrics. The Seattle Seahawks have the leg up. Of course they do. They're the better team. Now, the Colts were the better team than the Saints. They lost the Super Bowl. The Giants were a worse team than the Patriots, and the Giants won the Super Bowl. To say Seattle's the better team is not a wild thing to present to you. So to say that they will win makes a lot of sense. To say it's impossible for New England to win, of course that's a fugazi. But here's why. Here's why Seattle will beat, can beat, is going to beat any of those words, the New England Patriots. Defense. Drake May, man, I'm not going to sit here and do what I've heard a lot of national analysts do, which I think is kind of lazy, and just say Drake May bad in the postseason, bad in the playoffs. New England Patriots are hampered by Drake May. I don't think hampered is the right word. And when you put into context what New England has seen in the postseason, the way these games have gone, it looks a little different. That 16-3 game against the Chargers, you said Drake May, please go be a game manager. We just need you to do enough. And he did, 17 for 29, 268 yards, a touchdown, and a pick. Outplayed Justin Herbert. 17 for 29, 268 yards. In today's NFL, good, very good. 10 carries, 66 yards. Led the team, by the way. I thought he was at his most mobile, maybe all year, in that game against the Chargers when it mattered the most at the time. That was a winner-go-home game for Drake May. This is about context. The game after that, against the Houston Texans, 28-16. Again, New England's defense forcing turnovers. The offense was not on the field as much. And Drake May did not have to be heroic. In the Broncos, it was a blizzard. Those were 3 games where Drake May did not have to be Herculean. And he was playing good defenses against the Texans and the Broncos. And by the way, the weather got in the way of one of those games, no doubt. But this is different. I'm not telling you the Seattle Seahawks defense is going to eat Drake May, devour Drake May, because I think Drake May is bad, or I think Drake May has a deficiency that is going to hamper him totally in this game. But I am saying the Seattle Seahawks defense is going to devour Drake May, is going to put Drake May in a blender. The secondary is going to eat up Drake May because I believe in the Seattle defense that much. Not because Drake May hasn't played that well in the postseason, but instead because the Seattle defense is like that. They held, I watched a few weeks ago. in their game against the San Francisco 49ers, where Shanahan was held without a touchdown for like the first time as the head coach of the team. Something crazy like that. When their defense, final game of the regular season, held San Francisco to 3 points in a 13-3 victory. Road win, playoff team, the Panthers 27-10. Even when the defense did not play well, Sam Darnold is still a good enough quarterback to beat the Rams 38-37 a few weeks prior to that. They were on that side of the ball, the defensive side of the ball, stalwarts for all but 2 or 3 games this season. Even some of their losses, just not on the defense. And there weren't very many losses this year at all for Seattle. Then when we got to the postseason, they did it again against San Francisco. They did it again against Brock Purdy. Mac Jones had to be inserted into the game. 41-6 was the final score. That's the defense that I believe in. In that game against San Francisco, the 49ers were hapless throwing the football. 17 for 31, 128 yards. That's not very good against this number 1 overall seed out of the NFC. And in that game against the Rams, look, Matthew Stafford is the best quarterback in the NFL right now. 22 for 35, 374 yards, 3 touchdowns. Yeah, carved it, ate it, for sure, no doubt. Seattle wins 31-27. Against the best quarterback in the league, even when the defense doesn't hold the opponent to 13 points, 10 points, 16 points, they still win football games. Because if you want to argue and push back and say, I don't know if the Seattle defense is good, but like, do I trust it? The big one saw them they gave up a lot, 27 points last week, made Matthew Stafford look real good. My excuse for that is that Matthew Stafford is the best quarterback on the planet right now. And my other reason for not being perturbed at all is the Seattle Seahawks offense is how you say good. Here is what Patrick Kearney had to say on Bleck and Abdallah about that Seattle defense.
They're playing, or maybe it's really the effort. Right? Every team has speed. It's how much you choose to apply it. And the Seattle defensive players have created a culture that says we apply our speed, and we're going to attack. We're going to swarm. We're going to create turnovers. Defensive linemen causing fumbles in the running game, things of that nature. Linebackers with interceptions. These things that suggest guys are moving around where a lot of people think, no, that guy's sort of middle third. Like, well, then why is he making an interception in the deep third, right? Because they're applying their speed, and that ball's in the air. Everyone sticks their foot in the ground and swarms.
Yeah. Patrick Kearney's right there on top of it. And he goes on to say that Seattle playing defense specifically versus Drake May and how they handle Drake May is what's going to make the difference.
Defending against Drake May, what I'm sure Seattle's taken notice of is the protection schemes that they came up with against Denver. Another great 4-man pass rush, and they left the chippers in. And I've often wondered why offensive coordinators don't do that more, why they don't delay their routes by a half second to buy their quarterback 3 seconds. To let those edge rushers just sit there without anybody to consider except the tackle is too easy, especially when it's against a great pass rush. So I expect to see a lot more of that from New England. I would imagine there's some maybe what we call replacement rushes, where if you're in a man scheme, a man zone scheme, and there's a strong safety eyeing that tight end, and he turned out to chip the defensive end. They switch roles right away. Now you got a free runner that runs a 4.5 coming downhill on a quarterback, speeding up that decision time.
Patrick Kearney just dropped some ball knowledge in your lap for free right there. He told that to Bleck and Abdallah on Westwood One Sports yesterday. That's good. It's the defense. It's the way they play Drake May. It's the way that they are. It's Mike McDonald's ability to outsmart almost any coach on the planet defensively. He brought that to Seattle. He's won with it in Seattle. But the defense is the reason the Seahawks are going to win. Oh. If the defense is the reason the Seahawks are going to win, can it be good enough to beat out a foolproof stat? 4 of the past 5 Super Bowls have been won outright by the underdog. The Seahawks are 4.5-point favorites. Teams that win the big game are 57-2 against the spread. 57-2. If you're winning the Super Bowl, you're likely covering the spread. So that Seattle defense is good. But I've got a whole lot of reasons of why the New England Patriots are your next Super Bowl champions. Sponsored by Robinhood. You expect more from yourself. Expect more from your money. Get started today at Robinhood.com/yourmoney. Let's play the other side. Here's why New England will beat Seattle. Diana Rossini joined Westwood One Sports yesterday and gives us more right here on the Drake Toll Show.
Your
Our naked bodies go on trial just for laughing at the joke, just for saying of the bargain what any sales girl already knows. Most of us old men die at the firing line, just waiting for our number to be called. I guess time just makes fools of us all. Now the king regales his stepson when he's loaded as a gun. Says a real name is like a country. You need a map to find your one. Now I do you suppose you must approach the throne with its back up against the wall. I guess time just makes fools of us all. Minds of my generation gladly conscripted in the war of defending any Goliath that would deign darken the door. Now with your genius for picking battles, it's no wonder every helmet is too small. I guess time just makes fools of us all. I guess time just makes fools of us all. My drink is watered down. The champ is on his knees. He lost the rematch. He lost the comeback. He lost for charity, but that's the job. It's what gets the asses in the hall. They came for a beating, and he came to throne. Notice that of all the young gods I have known, yours is easily the least famous to turn down the cover of a Rolling Stone. Lily white faces, so familiar and yet impossible
recall. I guess time just makes fools of us all. After a millennia of good times, God said, hey now, let's have a dream where we raise the stakes a little. Come on, let's make things interesting. Parachute into the Anthropocene, an amnesiac, a himbo and all. I guess time does make fools of us all.
It is the Drake Toll Show. 7:41 and 49 seconds in the AM on the East Coast. You're listening from BB, Arkansas. You're sitting right there in your lounge chair, drinking your coffee. Still early enough in the morning, right? Probably 7 or 7:15. You'll get up and go. And you're sitting there, cozy in comfort, in Italy, Texas. I'll tell you a brief story here before I tell you why the New England Patriots will win the Super Bowl. So I work for the Savannah Bananas organization. We have the Texas Tailgaters, the Party Animals, the Firefighters, 6 teams in total now that will play in the Banana Ball Championship League this year. And yeah, I know a few of you are out there going, I can't believe you're talking about that banana ball stuff. I can't believe baseball got. Yeah, okay. My dad's the same way. I told my dad I was working for the Savannah Bananas. He's like, well, you're working for the what? For the who? How does that work? Good question. Good question. We'll figure it out. So, yes, you may be perturbed by it, but it's a fun thing that families and kids love. ESPN, TNT, like to be on those national networks. I have a good time calling games on ESPN and TNT. That's fun. And with that whole, this whole shebang, we have the Texas Tailgaters. We have a cast and crew. And we brought out a guy named Luigi, who was the Texas Tailgaters official pizza dough tosser. He's pretty good at it too. It's really impressive. He's like a professional wrestler who could toss this pizza dough. And the joke was he was from Italy, Texas. Get it? Luigi from Italy, Texas. Only problem is it's not pronounced Italy. It's pronounced Italy. That's all. That's the entire story. That's all I wanted you to have. But that's because Dave is sitting in Italy, Texas right now, drinking his coffee, listening to the Drake Toll Show on the Westwood One Sports app. Thank you to Westwood One. And he's wondering, if this guy really thinks New England can beat Seattle, surely he must have an example of why from Diana Rossini. And here is what Rossini said on Westwood One yesterday to Jim Rome on the Jim Rome Show about Mike Vrabel and Drake May winning the big game.
I think that is where the leadership here realized that going hard on this team and pushing buttons and grinding them wasn't going to work. And this is where I do believe that Mike Vrabel and his staff have been masterful at recognizing what this team needed when. That's not the case now. He's a little hard on them now, but they were too young and underdeveloped in terms of what he wanted them to be. They had no identity yet. Yeah, he had a couple guys that came from, the former places he coached at that, would share some of the stories of hey, this is what's going to be demanded here. A guy like Robert Spillane, Harold Landry, they knew the Vrabel way. But in order to really buy in, I think they needed to see it. And I think the way they started to buy in was when they started to see Vrabel hop in on some of the scrums, the fights, which was so ridiculous at the time. I remember he came up out of this scrum. He was trying to help out Will Campbell. And the cut was like a paper cut. Like, come on. The guy played in 3 Super Bowls. He's a
That's Diana Rossini on Drake May, Mike Vrabel, and how Mike Vrabel has perfectly fit exactly what New England wants to do this year. Who is in year number one as the head coach, Vrabel's gotten them there. Also, and this is just another good tidbit from what Rossini said to Jim Rome on the Jim Rome Show, Westwood One Sports yesterday. A quick nugget before I give you other analytics and numbers, not just, oh, Mike Vrabel good, Drake May good, on why New England will win the Super Bowl. Here's what Rossini said on the vibes in San Francisco right now.
The Patriots have this weird warrior theme going on. I'm seeing a lot of Patriots fans on the street. It was a little bit like New Orleans last year. You could not go 2 feet without seeing an Eagles fan. Like, Green was swarming, and it'll just continue this week with, I'm assuming, New England people will travel. With Seattle being so close, why wouldn't Seahawks fans come out?
Right.
So this thing is just going to build. But I just keep going back to the summer, and I went to a few practices up in New England, and I'm shocked. The team that I saw and the way they looked against the Commanders in a joint practice are the team that developed, grew, and found itself to now be playing on the biggest stage.
That's pretty awesome. Pretty awesome. You just heard Diana Rossini say that she was shocked the way that New England developed over the course of the year. And now that same team that she saw in the offseason is headed to the Super Bowl. Why are they headed to the Super Bowl? Well, I just told you Drake May and Mike Vrabel are good. But why are they good? Anybody can say that. I turn on the national networks, turn my TV on and go, oh, Drake May good. He's the number 1 quarterback in the country in adjusted EPA per play. His efficiency is incredible. He is the first quarterback since Patrick Mahomes in 2018 to generate over a plus 200 EPA on his throws. It's plus 203.1. His 72% completion rate is a 9.1% over expected rate. Based on what he's seeing from defenses, his wide receivers, he has a 63% completion expected completion. Hello. But instead, an actual completion percentage of 72%. Against the Seattle front, no doubt, that ranks 4th in pressure. We just talked about pressure. We just talked about the defense being the key for Seattle to swallow Drake May, to storm Drake May. But May might be an antidote to that. He led the National Football League with 99 completions under pressure this year. His tight window seams are different. You know, there is also a way for those tight window seams to make a difference in this game against the Seattle defense that's number 1 in DVOA in the nation, but number 16 in DVOA against tight ends. Seattle struggles against tight ends. They're very good at defending quick throws, but it's something about the middle of the field, the tight end escaping, that will favor Hunter Henry, who is a very good tight end. Ageless Hunter Henry, 768 yards, 7 touchdowns this year. So where Seattle is number 1 in DVOA, they have deficiencies. They have holes that Drake May can poke. They're also number 1, their defense that I just waxed poetic about, in overall run defense. But just 14th against QB scrambles. And guess what? Guess who led the league? Guess who led the league in scrambles this year? Bang, it's Drake May, 63 of them, and averaged 14 yards per carry. So the things that Seattle is not good at defensively, that is where Drake May shines. New England uses the light box effects, like 6 or fewer defenders, which is the 2nd highest rate in the NFL. Seattle's offense, 23rd in efficiency when facing light boxes. Oh. That light box, having fewer guys at the line, fewer guys in the box, playing from the back end to the front, those light boxes are different than what Seattle's used to facing and succeeding against. They're playing a team that loves to load up the secondary And when facing that, Seattle's offense is 23rd in the country. Not to mention the turnovers. Before I get to the turnovers, yesterday on Westwood One Sports, Demario Davis joined Jim Rome to say what it would just mean, not even X's and O's wise, what it would mean for the community of New England to have this upset victory.
Oh my gosh, I think Super Bowl has just really become this thing that not only advances our game forward, it advances communities forward. You know, it's so many major things that are happening around the community. We just left an event, got a chance to be over at Vincent Country Day. It's so many, incredible youth building opportunities. It's such a great experience for fans as our game continues to move and goes global. It just becomes a space that the game is moving forward, the communities are moving forward, and it's the greatest gathering place, on the planet, in my opinion. And so Super Bowl has just really become this thing that represents our game in the right way.
The Super Bowl is here. Again, Westwood One Sports. That's Demario Davis on the Jim Rome show yesterday. That's what it feels like for New England to be back. And they're back against a team in the Seattle Seahawks who have a quarterback who has turned the ball over more than, guess what, anybody else at his position in the league this year. The Super Bowl is a game of thin margins. I told you 4 of the last 5 winners of the Super Bowl were the underdogs, the outright underdog winning the game. And success rate is going to tell you in a game of margins who stays in control. The offensive success rate of New England, 48.6%. Of Seattle, 45.4%. And that 3% might not seem that big, but it is. That's the significance of a touchdown, of a field goal that is the difference. The Patriots are, in essence, what that means, 3% more likely to gain necessary yardage, to stay on schedule, to ensure that their drives are fluid and efficient. A piece of that you hear a lot of the times like, oh, yeah, great first drive, but now the script is done. Now you got to go off script now. Now what you got for me? Like when Bill Belichick and North Carolina scored a touchdown on their first drive against TCU, stalled out the rest of the game. Play sheet looked good. But now what? Can you improvise? New England can. And while Darnold has been a good quarterback and I've been complimentary, you just can't forget that 20 of the team's 28 turnovers in Seattle this year came because of him. And Christian Gonzalez, the guy who got the late pick to seal the game against the Broncos, leads a defense that ranks top 10 in turnover differential. It will be Drake May's efficiency, leading the NFL under pressure in EPA. It will be the explosive depth on the defense and depth in the secondary. The red zone defense, top 10 points per game allowed, that is, for New England. And the race to become the first team to go 9-0 at neutral sites and on the road this year. Drake May and the New England Patriots will win the Super Bowl. And that's why. See, there, I did it. I gave a case for both teams. Case for both teams. So now everybody can be happy. Addie Bates produces. Laura Jimenez runs the board from Culver City, California, Santa Monica, Los Angeles, whatever you will. Coming up, Idiot of the Day, Cam Newton. Again. This is Westwood One Sports, and this is the Drake Toll Show.
This is Westwood One Sports.
She just caught the Jamestown ferry. It's not a hot day, January, like she said it'd be if she ever left me. A case of gone was all she carried as she got on the Jamestown ferry. And she said that gone without the ever be. I didn't think that she'd leave me after saying how much she need me, but the fact still remains. I'm sitting there all alone, missing the loving of my baby. Lord, it's about to drive me crazy. She was the sweetest piece of ever I've ever known. She just caught the Jamestown ferry. It's not a hot day, January, like she said it'd be if she ever left me. A case of gone was all she carried as she got on the Jamestown ferry. And she said that gone without the ever be. As I walk through that valley of honky-tonks and bars, I remember how she'd hold me, comfort me with thought. She didn't cuss with every breath. She had a soothing southern dog, made me feel like a man through it all. She just caught the Jamestown ferry. It's not a hot day, January, like she said it'd be if she ever left me.
My homecoming queen in tight denim jeans, mixed with a southern drawl. Likes fried green tomatoes, cornbread and potatoes, and she doesn't have a single flaw. She could program computers or get a job at Hooters, make imagination run wild. Oh, Phil.
For I have traveled, and much I have seen, the darkest of mountains with valleys of green, and vast painted deserts with sunsets on fire as they carry me home to the Mull of Kintyre.
Good morning.
Mull of Kintyre. Oh,
Little Glenn Campbell, the Arkansas native. I told you I woke up today, and when I walked outside, it's still dark outside when I get up and I go to the office. You take a breath and just whew, it hits the air in the morning. The soft light of the street lamp next to my mailbox. And I thought, you know what? Everything's going to be okay. Life's good. It felt right. It was like a Mull of Kintyre mood today. Addy Bates, producer of the Drake Toll Show on Westwood One Sports and the Westwood One Sports app. You know ball, you know music pretty well. Actually, it's really impressive what you can. It's really impressive what you can do. I would tend to believe, and I could be the first idiot of the day. There's a chance of that the Mull of Kintyre version from my friend Glenn Campbell is better than the Paul McCartney. And is it the Wings? Yeah, I think that's who did the first Mull of Kintyre. Maybe. Hot take. I can be the honorary idiot of the day if it's too hot of a take. In the meantime, it's time for our actual idiots of the day.
Idiot of the day.
Let's start with Aroldis Chapman. Not approved to pitch for Great Britain in the World Baseball Classic because his lineage-based documentation did not prove eligibility. Chapman received an offer from the team in June and planned to accept it. What are we doing here, man? Aroldis Chapman, just not British at all. And for the World Baseball Classic, an entire nation called him and said, Aroldis, would you please play for us? Despite the fact that you're very, very much not British, nor have never been, nor have family who is British. And Aroldis said, yeah, I'll play for you. But after he just took a DNA test, turned out he's 100% not British and cannot play in the World Baseball Classic for Britain. Aroldis Chapman's our first idiot of the day. Somehow, Addy, smile and wave. Good to see you. Nice. Hi. Somehow, the Steelers, idiots of the day, because we hit this at the top of the show a little bit. We revisited the Mike McCarthy hire. And I was reminded and added in there that the want for Art Rooney to not tank is going to continue to put them in a spot where they win. They're going to win. They're going to win games. They're going to be okay. They're going to win games. It's going to be really fun for them to win games until they don't anymore, until that expires in the postseason, until they get to the end of the rainbow. And the end of the rainbow is the wild card round of the playoffs. You say, oh, oops, really wanted to win. Sorry. The Steelers have made it clear they do not want to tank with Mike McCarthy. And by tank, I just mean rebuild. I just mean like draft anywhere that's not 17th, 20th in the draft, please. Also, idiot of the day. Not the Astros. They just released their new ballpark food for 2026. A bloomin' onion. They're calling it their boomin' onion. Super colossal onion, breaded and deep fried, boom boom sauce or ranch dressing. Bloomin' Onions coming to the Astros games, as well as a buffalo chicken pizza, a chicken tinga-loaded nacho. Good, you can do that with pico de gallo. And brisket donuts. 2 fried brisket donuts, barbecue sauce, mac and cheese. I don't know if I understand what a brisket donut is, but the winner of the day, opposite of the loser of the day, opposite of the idiot of the day, Houston Astros. Nicely done, food-wise. Congrats to Astros fans like Addy Bates, producer of the Drake Toll Show, who get to reap the benefits of their new and improved and revamped menu. Idiot of the day, the NBA All-Star Game celebrity lineup. I don't know, man. I don't get it. Please, Daryl in Rochester, New York, Sam in Pensacola, Florida. Kevin, I know you're listening, and you're sitting in Tempe, Arizona. Tell me if you've ever heard of any of these people who are on the Celebrity All-Star Game for the NBA. Jenna Bandy. Nope. Shams. Yeah, okay. He, does the breaking news thing for the NBA. Taco Fall. Yeah, but I don't know why he's in the Celebrity All-Star Game. He is former NBA guy. Oh, had a shot at the NBA. Was right around it. Never panned out, obviously. But UCF star and legend who almost beat Duke in the NCAA tournament. I know him. But then Rome Flynn will be Taco Fall's teammate? No clue. Rome Flynn, not a real name. Keegan Michael Key, got that one. Seen him before. Key and Peele, good skits. Jeremy Lin, yeah. Rick Schnall, no chance. Rick Schnall. That's like my CPA's name. Dylan Wang, still nothing. Haven't ever heard of a Dylan Wang. Amon-Ra St. Brown, yeah, we're good there. K-Fu, don't know a K-Fu. Again, this is NBA All-Star Celebrity Game roster for a team coached by Giannis, Alex, Anthanasis Antetokounmpo, and Mookie Betts. Because, I don't know, throw Mookie Betts in there. Last member of the roster is Glorilla. Glorilla, Dylan Wang, Rick Schnall, and Jenna Bandy. With Rome Flynn starting five. It gets worse. The other NBA celebrity team is led by Badshah. Badshah? No clue. Couldn't tell you. Also headlined by Cody Jones. Sounds like a fighter. Maybe a fighter. Andrew DeGrassi. Andre DeGrassi. Sorry, Andre. Matt Ishbia. Nothing. They're just making up names now. Addie is shaking her head. She's never heard of any of these. Thank you, Addie. I'm not alone in the world. It continues to go downhill. Simu Liu. Mustard. That's the guy's name. It's just Mustard is in the NBA celebrity game. Adrian Nunez. Taylor Frankie Paul. That's like a slop TV personality. Jason Williams. Keenan Allen. And Nicholas Van Steenbergen. Coached by Anthony Anderson, lethal shooter, and Chris Brickley. No way Chris Brickley is a real person. Jeremy Lin being in this game and Taco Fall being in this game and being on the same team is such a cheat code. They're not celebrities. They're former NBA players. We're going to have them playing against Badshah, Matt Ishbia, Simu Liu, Mustard, and Nicholas Van Steenbergen. What is the point, man? Why are we doing this? Taco almost beat Duke in 2019, and now he has to guard Taylor Frankie Paul, the girl from Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, who's been married a few times. Has quite a few pupusas. Our final idiot of the day. This is going to be a lesson. Two idiots of the day. Micah Parsons. Honorable mention before we go. Yesterday at the Pro Bowl, obviously he tore his ACL. He couldn't play. He drove a scooter around the football field the entire day with a 2006 camcorder. And at one point, he wheels himself to the cheerleaders and holds the camcorder up as he passes a line of cheerleaders. And the last cheerleader in line is a male. And right before he gets to him, just puts the camera down. He just puts the camera in all the faces. Oh, cheerleaders, yeah, wave at me, wave at my camera, wave at me. And he gets to the very end of the line and camera goes down. All right. Come on, Micah. Come on. Play ball. And finally, your last idiot of the day is Cam Newton. Here's what Cam Newton had to say about men, boys, children. I'm going to teach you a thing or two on this one. Some Drake told ball knowledge is headed your way. But for 2 minutes, Cam Newton says you cannot be friends with a woman.
You have any platonic relationships in your life right now? With a woman? Yeah. No. Is that by choice? I'm not about to be around no woman platonically. Listen. We got to unpack this, Cam. Why?
Because I'm not about to play them type of games.
Is it self-control?
Call it what you want.
I'm asking.
Call it. It may be self-control.
I'm asking.
If she fine, I'm not about to have her around playing like I don't think that she's attractive.
Is it possible to think someone's attractive and still behave yourself?
Yes.
Do you have control of them thoughts?
Yes. But I'm not about to play them games.
What game is it?
The game of saying, hey, we're not about to be friends. I don't have good-looking women that's friends around me.
So
no.
Just all the. Do you have any ugly ones? I gotta ask.
I don't even have women friends, bro. Respectfully.
Why?
I don't.
And I understand you saying you're not finna play this game, but Cam, you're a smart man. I'm gonna need you to go deeper than that.
Yeah, we're gonna. I know me.
Okay.
I know me.
And what that mean?
That means if I'm around a woman long enough, I'm going to find something good in her that attracts me.
Okay. And when you're attractive, what then happens? When you're attracted, what then happens?
Sex.
Oh God damn, Cam. Cam, this is a bigger issue than I thought we had.
So understanding that I know what's to come from a platonic situation, I don't even play. No, I don't do that. Baby, you too fine for me. We're not doing that.
Interesting.
No.
So, okay. If I take the word friendship off of the table, do you have platonic relationships in your life that involve women?
I just told you, I don't have no attractive woman that I'm cool with that I do not have plans on stabbing. Dang.
Wow.
Yeah.
Addie, thoughts?
You know what? Cam, you're probably just not a good person. I think that's what it comes down to. Probably just not a good person. Can't be friends with a woman unless you... By the way, I've never heard somebody say stabbing. Because he doesn't mean... Means another. Something that's not appropriate for air.
FCC is listening, always.
I know. I mean, I run the FCC, so I should know. Know. I'm not going to say it.
Good. This mime game charade we played is over. War is over. It's just so wild to me that Cam Newton, who I think a lot of kids felt like were their hero, Auburn, he's this great player. And he takes the Panthers to the Super Bowl. What? One of the great quarterback in the league, MVP. And now he's just be saying stuff. Now he's just... He said Notre Dame was irrelevant. Now he goes on a podcast. And it's not like he said you can't be friends with... It wasn't even I've got super religious friends who will be like, yeah, man, I just don't... I feel like, I'm in a covenant with my wife, and I don't want to ever break that or make her feel uncomfortable. And I'm like, you know what, dog? You do you. Yeah, cool, man.
I think the idea, though, is I'm going to find something in a woman that I'm going to admire. And that's why I can't be friends, because I'm going to hang out and I can't find, I'll find something, which I'm like, we can't just value and admire people as is without feeling like we need to do
Fornicate.
stuff. Yeah. That word. It's FCC
Consummate.
appropriate. Ugh.
He did say, I think we can do fornicate here. Whoa, yeah. We can't. We can say fornicate.
We can't do that. It's not that kind of show.
The FCC won't like that. Yeah, it's just, all right, men, boys, those who are driving to school, those who are, sitting in school, those who are doing whatever you're doing, those who are hanging out.
Chilling.
You can be friends with a woman. I'm going to give you permission. Idiot of the day, Cam Newton, for not being able to be friends with a woman and explicitly telling you I cannot be friends with them because I want to do the naughty, do the dirty. Show me the dirty. Bing! Cam Newton is explicit, pun intended, that if he meets a woman and is around them, will want to stab them.
I don't like that.
I don't like it either.
That made me uncomfortable.
I'd never heard stab. I don't like that. I don't like it at all. You can be friends with a woman, and also people work with women. Addie, you're a woman. But I go to the office every day, and there are 100 people, 50 women, 50 men. And never once am I like, oh no, I'm in such close proximity with these women.
How did you meet your girlfriend?
Hey, coming up on the Drake Toll show. Dang it, shoot. Oh.
Yeah.
I got stuck there. I got stuck there. We
Yeah.
did maybe meet at work. I
Yeah.
cannot confirm or deny.
Couldn't be friends with her.
But it's not like I'm okay. So of the 50 women, 49 of them I'm around very safely and do not have any.
What about? I'm not gonna just expose Drake Toll on air, but it is funny. Drake Toll,
Oh.
Cam Newton.
Oh no, please no. Oh, coming up on the Drake Toll Show, live from San Francisco, California at the Super Bowl. His name is Armin Williams, the program director of Westwood One Sports, joins the Drake Toll Show.
This is the week.
Reluctantly crouched at the starting line. Engines pumping and thumping in time. The green light flashes, the flags go up. Churning and burning, they yearn for the cup. They deftly maneuver and muscle for rank. Fuel burning fast on an empty tank. Reckless and wild, they pour through the turns. Their prowess is potent and secretly stern. As they speed through the finish, the flags go down. The fans get up and they get out of town. The arena is empty, except for one man still driving and striving as fast as he can. The sun has gone down and the moon has come up. And long ago somebody left with the cup. But he's driving and striving and hugging the turns and thinking of someone for whom he still burns. He's going the distance. He's going for speed. She's all alone in a time of need. Because he's racing and pacing and plotting the course. He's fighting and fighting and riding on his horse. He's going the distance. No trophy, no flowers, no flashbulbs, no wine. He's haunted by something he cannot define. Bowel-shaking earthquakes of doubt and remorse assail him, impale him with monster truck force. In his mind, he's still driving, still making the grade. She's hoping in time that her memories will fade. Cause he's racing and pacing and plotting the course. He's fighting and fighting and riding on his horse. The sun has gone down and the moon has come up. And long ago somebody left with the cup. But he's striving and driving and hugging the turns and thinking of someone for whom he still burns. Cause he's going the distance. He's going for speed. She's all alone
to the brain. La-da-da-da-dee. La-da-da-da-da.
Here we go. It is the Drake Toll Show, Wednesday, February 4th. We are on the precipice of the Super Bowl. But, I mean, right, we got to talk about the Epstein list. We have to talk about the Hall of Fame. We've got to talk about the Rooney Rule. Like, there's so many things, James Harden trade, right, that felt like they've come before the Super Bowl this week. That felt like we've talked about, hey, this big headline overshadowed it because Patrick Mahomes isn't there. The Eagles aren't there. Teams that are easy to love or easy to hate aren't there. Instead, it's a decades-old rematch of the Seattle Seahawks and New England Patriots, sans Russell Wilson, sans Pete Carroll and Bill Belichick and Tom Brady. A new look for both programs, a new look for both franchises. And America almost collectively has said, that's okay. I'm good. I'll turn it on, see the commercials, but where's the sexy piece of the Super Bowl that we usually get? Well, if there's one place where that is not the case, it's San Francisco, California. This is the Drake Toll Show, Westwood One Sports, the Westwood One Sports app. And all week long, we have heard from talent, guys who are on the air, who are at the Super Bowl right now, who are talking to you from Radio Row in San Francisco. Now it's time to go behind the scenes. Armin Williams, program director, Westwood One Sports, joins the show from Radio Row in San Francisco. Armin, for Joe, listening in Branson, Missouri right now, who will never have the opportunity himself to step on Radio Row and experience this. From not the standpoint of somebody who's talking 3-4 hours on the radio every day, but somebody who's behind the scenes building this X's and O's wise for a radio network like Westwood One Sports. Take me behind the curtain.
Good morning, Drake. There's nobody I'd rather wake up for at 4:30 in the morning on the West Coast. You know, nice. I'm talking 5:20 in the morning, ready for you, bringing the heat. You know, Radio Row is a hodgepodge of celebrities from around the world that are walking around a ballroom, not as big as you would think, actually. It's a smaller ballroom this year. So we're all pretty crowded in here, and there are hundreds of radio stations and podcasts and different multi-platforms from around the world, mostly U.S., but a lot of international now with the direction the NFL is going as well. And you're just kind of like head on swivel for 5 days trying to see who's that. I think I've seen that guy in a commercial once. Hang on. Is that the Old Spice guy? Wait, I think I know her. Oh, that's Diana Rossini. You know, and you're instantly looking at people walking by and saying, oh, I'll give you an example, Drake. Yesterday, I was walking out of the bathroom. Frank Caliendo. He's funny. Yeah. So it's a week where people come from all over. From a media perspective, we are here to cover the sights, the sounds of a Super Bowl city. And from a celebrity perspective, a lot of them take this 1 week out of the year. And quite frankly, they make a lot of money by going table to table and talking to stations all over the country, hawking whatever product they might have, you know?
So, Armin, that's a big question. You run into these celebrities. The first piece of this for Jeremy, who's listening in Tucson, Arizona, he's wondering, like, man, you run into Frank Caliendo at the urinal or walking out of the bathroom or hawking these tables. As a program director and somebody who's behind the scenes and setting all this up and building and trying to make sure that the X's and O's work, what is it like to say, you know what, screw it, I'm going to walk up, shake Frank Caliendo's hand and say, Frank, can you join us at 12:30 on the show?
Most of the time they have handlers, right? Most of the time they have people around them. For example, yesterday, Patrick Surtain and Nick Benito, two NFL defensive players from the Denver Broncos, big names in the NFL, right? They're studs. Yeah. They are representing Bounty paper towels yesterday. And they have probably 8 to 10 people around them with holding paper towels. Some, you know, a couple of them are from Bounty. A couple of them are their agents. A few of them are the PR individuals. And they are representing these individuals. They're escorting them from radio station to station. In a lot of cases, Drake, by the time they make it to the ballroom, by the time they make it to Radio Row, they have already booked up their 2 hours that they're there, the time that they're there. So really, from a media perspective, we're working 1 month, 2 months in advance, and we're hitting up agents and people we know. And this is where relationships come into play, where, I'll get a call and say, hey, there's a chance I'm going to have Kevin Hart on Friday. Do you guys want comedian Kevin Hart? Yeah, of course. That'd be great, right? So, and after a while, if you've been doing it a while, they start to call you and say, hey, I want my guest on Jim Rome. When is Jim available? And so that process actually starts well before we get here. And if you don't know Frank Caliendo is going to be here until you actually pass him in the hallway, in a lot of situations, most likely it's probably too late to land Frank Caliendo at that point.
Armin Williams, program director of Westwood One Sports, joining the Drake Toll Show here on Westwood One Sports and the Westwood One Sports app, going behind the scenes of somebody who's not 12 hours of radio in a day, but instead 12 hours of making the radio happen. Armin, there are tiers to this, right? When you talk about interviews, typically if, say, Mary Kay Cabot for the Drake Toll Show last week, she was incredible on this show and gave her time for free to come on the program and drop extreme knowledge on the world where they got to listen for free. In these interview situations, are we talking money, brand deals? Are we talking dollar signs? Or how does the process work of getting a Patrick Surtain or whoever on the show?
Yeah, let's continue to give Bounty Quilted Picker Upper a shout out. Shall we do that? Let's just roll with Bounty for a second.
Nice.
So nice. Bounty earlier in the year, right? Last year they would have said, okay, we want a presence on Radio Row. We want to spend our marketing dollars and have our name mentioned across radio stations across the country within a 2-hour period. It's really easy. Everybody's in that one room. All we need is a celebrity for 2 hours. And so then they start this process of where do we want to spend those? Who do we want? And then they start, getting those celebrities and those individuals to represent them. And then they come up with a marketing plan. And so what happens is those two guys, Patrick Surtain and Nick Benito, will sit down and they'll talk to you you got about 9-10 minutes. And then at the end of it, you say, hey, tell me about Bounty. And then it'll give you a 60-second plug on Bounty. And that's really what Bounty's paying for, right? And then boom, they're on to the next one. So it's more for us. We want to talk to them, about the interview. Sometimes they have a cool project they're working on that we want to talk about, a movie that might be coming out, things like that. And that's why they're there. We might spend a little more time on that. But it's generally a chance for these companies to get a plug, one plug during the interview. And then in exchange, we get to bring, incredible content to the listening audience around the world.
Armin, 9-year-old Drake Toll is in Valonia, Arkansas, and he's on the text line right now. He's hitting us up on what is Westwood One Sports 310-840-4910 and saying, man, I've always dreamed of being on radio. I've always dreamed of being on the radio. And if you're at the Super Bowl and doing this, if you're at a small, you just said, kind of convention center or ballroom, how is it not a construction zone? How do you do radio when there are 1,000 people talking on the air at the same time?
Yeah, it's fun. It's a different experience. It's unlike being in the studio by yourself, being able to focus. You just kind of know when you come to the Super Bowl that you are prepared to go rails off at any time, that you're prepared to just, you know what, let's call an audible. Troy Aikman just walked up to the set. You're just able to pivot and go with whatever the flow is going to be. I was walking with Jim Rome yesterday after a show, and I said, how'd it go? And he said, man, we had a guest every single segment, and I'm wiped. I mean, just think about that. Think about somebody different sitting down every 10 minutes. And a guy like Jim preps for hours on these individuals, and he wants to know so many things about them and get to know them. So you just know when you're here, you're going to get locked in on the person that's sitting in front of you, and conversation is going to be a little dictated based on the guests that you have. Versus if you're doing your radio show back in the studio in your town, you can control the content a little more. But a day like this, you as a listener, listen to Radio Row because you want chaos. Let's be honest. Because you want the random celebrity person stopping by going, hey, are you guys on the air? Let me jump on. Hey, who are they going to have next? What are they going to talk about next? That is what this week is all about. And it's like that boots on the ground too, like walking back to the hotel, walking around the city, just looking around and seeing, wait a minute, is that who I think that is? And then seeing random people walk. It's a fun week on and off the air. And, I would also say too, now from a social media perspective, you can get a lot of perspectives from that too, because now we can just turn on our phone and hey, just ran into Adam Sandler. Adam, I know you're walking in here. Talk to me real quick, and you can get a question in that way as well.
Armin Williams, program director, Westwood One Sports, on the Drake Toll Show. The biggest question that would come to mind then, if I'm the everyday guy that hopes to one day be on Radio Row or may never have the aspiration, and from what I've seen as Drake Toll at a Big 12 Media Days or an SEC Media Days, man, there are some times where you'll ask a host or a program director, hey, man, should we have so-and-so on the show? And the host or program director responds with, oh, I hate that guy. I can't stand him. He did this and that to me and my station. No, we're not having him on. What is the air? Is there an air of ego, competition? What does that look like on Radio Row at the Super Bowl?
Yeah, I guess. I mean, there's always hey, I don't like that person. I do like that person. But this. Sometimes some of the best radio is not a big fan of that person. But let's have them on because I know they have a different perspective. I know they bring something that I haven't heard before. So, sure, everybody's got an ego and there's an air. But, man, I'm telling you, Drake, when you come to a Super Bowl city, it all starts when you land. When you land and you get off the plane here in San Francisco, in the terminal, there's signs that say, welcome to the Super Bowl. You go to baggage claim. It's all over the place. And that spirit, that aspect of it does not change the entire week, every single step you take. So, there's this levity of knowing that you are in the city of the most watched sporting event around the world for one full week. And that brings kind of drops defenses in a lot of ways, right? It's like, man, let's soak this thing in. Who are some of the best and greatest names that we can talk to and just have a good time with them? That's what the week's all about.
Nailed it. That's the beauty of it. And that's where I hope you'd go with it is at some point you all sit down and for that week, it's like, you know what? We could be friends. It's the beauty of when you get in those rooms, the guard that comes down. And I'll leave you with this one. Maybe the number one thing I'd want to know as 9-year-old Drake in class listening to Armin Williams, the players,
yeah,
the coaches.
That visual was intense, by the way. 9-year-old Drake. I don't want to know what else is going on in those text messages or that mind at that point. That's way too early in the morning for that.
It was the life of that mind was a wild one.
Yeah, man, I bet.
All I wanted to do was meet the players. All I wanted to do was meet a coach, get an autograph. How much access is there to the New England Patriots and the Seattle Seahawks?
Yeah, well, I don't follow the teams during the week. But from what I've seen, what I understand, it's pretty heavily policed and secure, the hotels. So, for example, some of the hotels that we're staying at, we got an email yesterday that said, hey, from now on, going in and out of your hotel, you have to show your ID. Just going in the hotel, going out of the hotel, that would be a little extra. But going in the hotel, you have to show your ID. So they want to confirm that you're staying there. I was at a players' hotel for the Pro Bowl, where all the Pro Bowl guys were staying there. I was there 2 days ago, and there's about 100 yards away on the corner, there's 36 people standing there with poster board or footballs and, waiting for autographs, waiting for the players to go over there. So the hotel security, I told everybody, hey, you can't be in the lobby. You got to be off the premise. You got to go over that space over there by that blue car. And if anybody goes that way, you can ask for their autographs. You can't come in the lobby. So they do their best. And there's a lot of, like I said, it's chaos, man. It's wild. Like, you just never know who's going to walk by when. So they do a great job of policing it. Security and staff has been great. But then, yesterday, Pro Bowl was played inside the Moscone Center, inside San Francisco on a Tuesday. So, Drake, how weird was it? I walk outside at 3 o'clock and there is a line, no exaggeration. I walked the line. There was a line 8 blocks long to get into the Moscone Center. And man, there's fans everywhere with different jerseys and hats. And you just feel the love of the game, the love of the players. 9-year-old Drake would be head on swivel, going crazy, probably trying to find, I'm going to guess you were like a funnel cake guy, maybe trying to find some good street food out here, which, you know, they've got them everywhere. Everybody comes to the Super Bowl city for the opportunity to sell stuff, but then also the opportunity to be a fan and maybe see somebody important, see somebody famous. And the NFL does it better than anybody. They monetize it better. I was in the fan shop yesterday. It's 100 yards long. It's insane. The type of money that has been flowing around the Super Bowl city.
I think when I was 9, that was Joe Montana's first Super Bowl win. I'm trying to remember that game that night and how that went. And I know that, of course, I would have been over the moon to meet Jerry Rice, Joe Montana, any of those guys back in my 9-year-old self. Armin Williams, program director, Westwood One Sports, on the ground in San Francisco. Thank you for getting up this early, taking time to give us a peek behind the scenes, not from in front of the mic, but a guy who is making it all happen.
Yeah, look, we're excited for another crazy day on Radio Row, and we're live on Westwood One Sports here locally in California from 6 a.m. to 3 p.m. from Nick Costos, You Better You Bet, and Blinken Abdallah to Jim Rome. So it's a fun time, man. We get to do this, and it's an absolute privilege to bring this audio and this content to people around the country. So thanks for having us on, man.
Absolutely, no doubt. Armin Williams, Westwood One Sports. That's it, dude. I love it. I love the Super Bowl. You bring in the hairspray, the pomade, but everybody gets along for at least a little bit. It's the love of the game. There it is. Your peek behind the scenes in San Francisco. Coming up, Robert Kraft is not in the Hall of Fame. Why? And it's time for Weird Wednesday. This is Westwood One Sports, and this is the Drake Toll Show.
It's the biggest game on the planet, and we
gathered in their masses, just like witches at black masses. Evil minds that plot destruction, sorcerer of death's construction. In the fields of bodies burning, as the war machine keeps turning, death and hatred to mankind, poisoning their brainwashed minds. Oh Lord, yeah. darkness world stops turning, ashes where the body's burning. No more war pigs have the power, and as God has struck the hour, day of judgment.
bro. Because the system's rigged. That's what I'm mad about today. Fix the Pro Bowl. It sucks. And fix the Hall of Fame committee. We were doing the right thing. We wanted to let the other people in case they don't get in later. No. It's not how we should operate around this joint. You know what I'm saying? It's not how we should operate. It's time for Weird Wednesday. Here are the top headlines from around the world in the last 48 hours that are wild but true that you need to tell your friends at work today. Woman in China detained in a feng shui fiasco. She was caught on CCTV adjusting a public traffic mirror because she felt it was ruining her home's feng shui. It caused multiple car accidents before police finally intervened. Oops, my bad. I just thought it looked bad. This is not good. Grave delivery. India, food delivery agent in India went viral after a customer requested their meal be delivered inside a graveyard. And at night, the food delivery agent, the headline says agent, I didn't know they were agent, filmed the encounter, which has sparked massive online debate on whether or not you should deliver food to the cemetery in the middle of it. A rare reptile rescued in Rhode Island after being found completely buried in a snowbank. Authorities have labeled it the lizard in a blizzard. A lizard in Rhode Island survived sub-zero temperatures when it got stuck. And a singing contest inside a Rio de Janeiro women's prison has gained international attention. The finals were held yesterday, provided a creative outlet for inmates drawing scouts from local music labels. Yeah. Marathon swim for a 13-year-old in Australia, hailed as a hero after swimming for several hours through shark-infested waters to save his mother and siblings after their boat capsized. That's pretty good. And for the last 48 hours, NASA scientists have been very confused, very upset. They didn't want to alarm you, but there was a mysterious interstellar object that entered the solar system. Initial headlines said that could be impact on Earth. But now it's just a reflective piece of a rocket booster from the 70s. We're good. We're good. We're going to make it. Laura Jimenez joins today to produce, co-produce. Why not? Run the board in Culver City, California. Addie Bates produces from Washington, D.C. It's the beauty of it, man. It's so great. It's the best part. I'm going to go get my DoorDash. Food. Eat it up. And then be right back here from 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. with you tomorrow. Westwood One Sports, the Westwood One Sports app. This has always been and it always will be. See you tomorrow for 3 more hours of magic. It's the Drake Toll Show.
This is Westwood One Sports.